I'm Miracle Emibu. Welcome back to the Perspective series. So, I was talking about my previous video, how our perspective are formed. I talked about perspective being our lens through which we see life. I talked about it being our angle, like the way we interpret things. That is our perspective. And I said that our knowledge, our wealth of information forms our perspective. This exposure we have, that is what forms our perspective of life and every other thing we do. So you might be asking, okay, how do I intentionally form my perspective? I interpret information and the way I see life. How do I do that? First of all, look for a mentor or a model. Just look for a model or a mentor that carries that thing you desire, that thinks the way you love to think, that process information the way you love to. Why I ask for a mentor, a model, whatever you call it, is for your sight. Like I was saying earlier, that the children of Jacob were not able to see like the young man who wanted to deliver them, because they never had the exposure of what it means to be free. They never had any understanding like that. They don't even know what it felt like. They have not even seen it. So they could not bring themselves to understand that they could be free. Now you need that model for sight to be able to see what you can become. That person is a model that you look up to for sight. Now you begin to ask yourself, what quality of information do I require to be like this? Then begin to pursue it. The process of pursuing that is what I call knowledge detoxification. So you begin to drop those kind of knowledge you have been running with that is faulty, that is biased, and most of them that is not even ethical. And I have to warn you, it is not an easy process, because it did not take you one day to start thinking a certain way. Just that same way. It's not going to take you one day to change totally. But for that picture you want to have, you put it in front of you and begin to walk towards it. Begin to intentionally read books. Begin to intentionally expose your mind to materials. Begin to intentionally expose your mind to discussions that will help your eyes, that will help your sight, that will help your exposure. I'm not saying just any type. Expose yourself to it. Expose your mind, because our mind is like elastic. It expands. So that person you are looking up to, that you want to be like, you can get to a point where you are like that person and you can even exceed it. And this is a continuous process. This first model is just to get to that point, to get yourself to see that this is possible and begin to walk towards it. Begin to intentionally retrain your mind, feeding your mind with the right information. Why? Because the opinions you have now, the lens through which you are seeing life through now, and every other thing you are doing now is based on already available information you are working with, that you have acquired either formally, like in school, trainings and everything, and informally by your environment, exposure, your friends and all that. So to retrain your mind and retrain your sight and solidify your lens to begin to see a certain way and to begin to think a certain way, you have to intentionally do it. Your imagination comes alive and your mind is enlarged and expanded because of the kind wealth of information, correct information that you have been feeding yourself with. And it begins to help the kind of opinion you have. It begins to help the kind of decisions you make. And you can even get to the point of that model, and you have to get another model that is higher than what you are now to work with. Not to be exactly like the person, but for sight, for your mind, to put it in front of you as you are training yourself, like, this is what I want to become, something like this or even better. So I need this and this to work with. So that model, which will help your sight, will also help as your motivation to pursue what you are pursuing. So I said, number one, get a model. Number two, be intentional. Intentionally discipline yourself. Intentionally set out time to study, no matter how busy you are. Intentionally feed your mind with quality discourse that will help your intellect, that will help the way you process information. That means maybe like if you're scrolling through social media and you just within the first 5 second clip, you already know that this thing will not help you. You already know that this thing will just deplete your IQ. So scroll up. That is you intentionally guarding and working towards that vision that you have for yourself. There is no knowledge that is retained casually. You have to intentionally keep it. You have to discipline yourself to control the kind of things that get into your mind. There are things that will still get into your mind that you have no control about. That's like maybe your environment, your workplace, no problem. But because of the amount of work you are putting into yourself, they will not hold water. The structures and the things you have set in place will override it. Unlike leaving your mind to chance for anything to just fall on and you begin to just think a certain way that you don't even know when you start thinking like that. You have to be, number one, get a model. Number two, be intentional about who you want to become and how to pursue it. Set up structures around it. The kind of communication you start having with your friends. And if this means that your friends don't begin to see the way you see, you have to change the kind of people that you have around you because they will either make or mar you. You have to change to the kind of people that are now seeing the way you see. That will even help you to be motivated because when you talk to them, like the soundness of their mind will make you want to even improve on yourself. Someone might be asking like, okay, but no one knows me. Like, why am I even putting all this effort? I have one firm belief. No one was created for nothing. No one, like no one, not a single person was created for nothing. But life will not just come to hand over the kind of life and the quality of life you want to you in a platter. You have to work towards that kind of person that you desire. Then you serve that kind of person to the world at large. So I said, first, get a model. Second, be intentional. And thirdly, be patient with yourself. Because we are all at different level of information. You all are at different level of seeing this video. Some already know that they have an idea and they're already working towards it. Probably they are shaky, but working towards it. Some have no idea of anything like this. Some have even, they're in the process and they are growing. So whatever level you are, be patient with yourself. Be patient with your growth. Be patient with your development. You will notice people will just start telling like you speak differently. You don't just sound differently. The kind of opinion and the kind of decisions you are now making are different. That is when you know that it has started to pay off. So be patient with yourself because this takes a lot of time, energy, and consistency. So allow yourself to grow. Give yourself breathing space to grow. I already said that you should be intentional, but also be patient with yourself because the way you are thinking now did not happen overnight. It took time. Whether you consciously invested in yourself like that or not, it took time for you to be this person that you are now. Just the same way it's going to take time for you to be that person you want to be. So be patient with yourself, but consistently walk towards your goal. Consistently. One step at a time, walk towards it. Then you will notice that you are no longer that person that started out this journey. But you have totally changed. So that is it for today. I hope to see you next time. Bye.